We got a chance to go through that tape with the guys this morning, and really our message to them was the things that got away from us in the first half in all three phases. We started off with the penalty on special teams, and offensively we didn't do the things we said we were going to do on the first drive, and then the defense gave up a touchdown. So that was a tough start, 7-0. But ultimately it was the details that we were on top of in week one we let slip in week two. And it was disappointing to see that, so we got to make those corrections. But when you do go back through the tape, the encouraging thing is it's just usually one player on each play, and we just need all 11 on the same page, and we'll be in much better shape going forward. So it was disappointing. We went series by series with the whole team, through that first half to just let everybody know, where the accountability lies with every position and in every side of the ball and every coach. We want to make sure that we're all accountable and we're all in this thing together. And we're not here to point fingers. We're just in here to get it right. And, Buffalo has their next opportunity to get it right.
How did the team react after reviewing the film?
It's been an accountable team. It's nobody pointing fingers. Nobody's saying, this guy should have done that or this. They've responded the right way. And that's how we assumed that they would, because that's the character that they've shown through the 6 months we've been together. And so, that part's encouraging. No, I just, in a game like this that got away from you, like it did, we just want to make sure that we're going to correct all the errors and that everyone sees we're not far away in any phase. Yeah, they took it to us and they beat us 41-17, but there were a lot of things we could have done to go into halftime down 3 points, and then second half turn around and get a stop and have a chance to go win the game, but we just didn't do it. And so it's important for everyone to see just how close we are and how quickly it can open up the wrong way if we're not on top of the details in all the phases.
Was it a disappointment, obviously, when you go at halftime and try to make some adjustments, and they come out and they roll 222 yards and you get 8? I mean, in that third quarter, that had to be, obviously disturbing.
It is, and that's the negative of, they won the toss and we took the ball, but so it worked out in their favor that they score at the end of the half and they score at the beginning of the second half. That's the double whammy that kills you right there. But it really, to us, started on the first drive of the game, just not doing the things we said we were going to do, and they capitalized on it, and it was a tough start. And we had a chance. Trust me, I've seen it 1,000 times, so I can go frame by frame. But we had a chance to get back and take leads, and we just never capitalized. We were just never on the same page. Defense got an interception, offense gets a big play, penalty, moves back, miss a field goal. We didn't have our backs, in each phase the way that we had the week before, and those are just corrections we'll make.
Was that interception at the end of the first half probably a bigger turning point than maybe you all realized when it happened?
Well, it was 21-10 at the time. We're planning on getting points one way or another. So to us, 21-13 going into the half, it's a one-score game. We get a chance to make a stop, and we're back in the thing, as opposed to going down 24-10. So anytime you turn the ball over, and then they go down and capitalize and finish the half that way, that's not the way we wanted. We got the ball with 4 minutes and change backed up, and ideally we would have bled the clock out and scored and gone into halftime. It just didn't go that way.
What was your take on the interception? Should you maybe eat it or throw it away?
Just throw it away. Yeah, Auden's coming the backside. I don't think Andy would have seen him based on where the pressure was at. There were some big bodies right there. Just throw it away, and Andy knows that, and he's accountable for it. And we move on to 3rd and 5 and try to convert the next play.
Did you expect them to use as much motion in misdirection that they did? It seemed like the players afterwards said that caused a lot of the defense to kind of be on.
They've done a good job. They've put in some different wrinkles from an offseason of studying themselves, and it's an innovative offense, I would say that. They do a real good job. And when they get you, when they're ahead of the sticks, they're in 2nd and 5, they got an expansive playbook they can really throw at you. They threw a double pass. They threw a ton of play-action screens. They snuck the receiver out the back door for that first touchdown. It was some stuff that knowing a team's playbook, they had a lot that they threw at us. And, it's one of those games they were in a good rhythm and they're able to call that. Conversely for us, we weren't in any sort of rhythm in the first half, and so we were a little bit limited what we were trying to do behind the sticks.
Tackling was an issue yesterday. Was that poor technique, lack of effort?
It's being one step slow, not being in your gap when you're supposed to be there, pinning the hip on the edge of the defense, and so the running back has no space. There was just, yes, there were missed tackles. It was more just being sound with your alignment and your technique at the point the ball snapped, and that's as much, for as well as we did in week 1, we were the flip side of that in week 2.
Third down, they didn't get to third down all that often. They did a pretty good job on first and second down. But 2 is your first 4 third downs, your third and 19, so your first and second down is betraying you a little bit there.
It was killing us. We want to be balanced, and so there's the threat of everything. And there was a lot of first and longs, second longs, and it's hard. We're trying to really throw it to get back on track at times, and so it just wasn't going the way we want. We did feel like we were pretty balanced on first and 10 and second 10 and fewer. We were equal run pass. We had so many second longs and third downs that it really took us off balance there.
What can you do to get the running game going? You can do schematically?
Well, I'd say when you watch, the 13 good runs we had in the first half, not good runs, but proper down and distance, it's usually just one player, and it's a different player every time. It's not you can point the finger at the same guy, and it's just mistargeting here, one guy getting beaten a one-on-one here, and so those are things we got to clean up as we get our rhythm in the run game, which we'll get going here. We'll feel a lot better about it, but the frustrating thing is as we sit in there and watch as a group, and we watch the running game, how close we are to having some big plays, and some get called back on some calls, but we don't feel like we're far off. And then when you're down 31-10, your first possession of the second half, it becomes a different game. But it is disappointing. You don't want to end the game with however many yards rushing we had, but we do feel confident that we'll be able to get that back on track.
The 13 good runs, what you're saying is.
I'm saying it's manageable down and distance. Yeah.
The way the running game has been the last couple of weeks, have y'all looked at getting Joe more touches in different capacities?
We try to throw him a lot of screens. Some of the screens get called back, and so, we do try to incorporate him into the pass game as best we can, and sometimes the coverage takes Andy a different direction, but we are mindful to get our playmakers the ball, and Joe's somebody we want to get involved. And unfortunately, again, just playing behind the sticks on early downs takes you out a lot of the rhythm, and you just get back on track, and that part got frustrating.
Has he been discouraged at all with the way the last couple
No, Joe's attitude has been phenomenal, and he's one of the young guys that we're really counting on this team, and I've really enjoyed being around him. He's been a great presence in the locker room.
Early, the first touchdown, good one. Is that just really good play design, or is that something where you guys lost track of what design was supposed to be?
We certainly could have been better on the back end, and with our eye discipline in the backfield. That's some of the things that get you on some of those play actions, some of those keeper throwbacks. Is just the eye discipline. So could have had better communication there and better eye discipline, and we would have been in a better position to make the play there.
You had 4 guys go out with injuries yesterday. Do you have an update on any of that?
If you list them for me, I can probably help you out. BW will be day to day. I don't think it's anything long term. I think there's a chance he could play this week. We'll just see how he responds when we put the pads on this week. Kerry Wynn is in concussion protocol. Mike Jordan probably be at least a week. We'll see where it goes from there, but it would be difficult to see him play in this game. Andre, I think will be in good shape. We'll take him day to day, but I think he'll be able to go.
Mike out, is that the spot where Billy can slide in there?
That's a conversation we're still having upstairs to make sure we have the right depth at spots and we're putting everybody where they need to go. But that's still an ongoing conversation.
Was putting John at left tackle yesterday, was that part of just wanting to see what you might be able to do?
Andre wasn't feeling great at the time, and so we put John in there and just continue to roll with him. But I do envision Andre being healthier this week.
If there had been another injury, would Andre have been the guy to go back in and shuffle?
Oh, absolutely.
He could have, in an emergency, he was your emergency guy at that point.
Yeah.
What are the biggest, when you inherit a franchise that's struggled as much as this one has, and when you have a loss like the one yesterday, what are the things that you're doing to kind of reassure this team of the culture that you build when things like yesterday happen?
Well, that's why every week we don't go through and show the game with the whole team. But today I thought it was important because you look at the scoreboard and you can be led to think one way. You give up the yards rushing that they had, and you have the lack of yards rushing that we have, and it can lead to certain assumptions. And so what we want to just make clear on is everyone's accountable in this room. We see how close we are. We're not there yet. The great teams in this league don't make the mistakes we're making right now, so we got to clean them up quickly because we got a good team that we're playing this Sunday. But I just wanted everybody to see that we're not. It's us. It's about us with the mistakes we're making. the game should not have gone the way it went. And so we just want to make sure that they're all accountable to it and that they see where we can improve.
Is there a curiosity, excitement as a coach then to see how this team does bounce back?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, we see the character that we thought we had all along, and the response to this loss. Positive is a strange word to use, but the guys aren't discouraged. They still believe in each other, and we believe in what we're doing. And again, we can't afford to make those mistakes right now that we've made really in the last 2 weeks. And so this Sunday is a great opportunity for us to bounce back and show who we know we can be.
Guys, we're talking about after the game that even though the game wasn't going the way that they had thought it might go, nobody was, pointing fingers at each other, getting on each other and silent. It was,
Yep.
try to get it corrected and get back out and get things done. Did you look at that as a positive?
I did, and it's 24-10 at halftime, and I know I didn't think we were out of it. And looking at the guys' eyes in the locker room, they didn't believe we were out of it. Unfortunately, they came out and scored right away, 31-10, and then we didn't score to counter that. So that made it difficult there in the second half. When they play with the lead, they're going to be a tough team to beat. And I think that football team's going to win a lot of games this year. They're in their third year of that staff, that chemistry they've developed, and you can see the improvement. I've seen them the last 3 years. That's the best 49ers team I've seen in 3 years, and they're heading the right direction. But our guys are. I'm confident our guys will rebound the right way, and we'll have a strong performance this week.
How'd you assess Dalton through 2 weeks?
Like all of us, there's good and bad, and he comes to me and he's disappointed with how he plays. I'm disappointed in the positions I put him in, and so it's everyone right now pointing the finger at themselves and everyone accountable. And I expect anytime we lose, the quarterback to take accountability, and Andy's no different in that regard. And so, but again, there's things we got to be better in the run game. We got to be better as a play caller. We can do all these things to help everybody play their best, and that's the improvement we need to see from everyone.
Is that something that the entire coaching staff, it's like first thing I'm going to do is how did I handle it this week? Did I show them everything I needed to show them and everything that goes along with it?
Absolutely. It certainly starts at the top. That's not just coach speak. It's I know that I have to improve every single week, and so I want the feedback from the coaching staff. I want the feedback from the quarterback. When you go in there in the morning, what are the positions I put you in that you want to know why you were in that position? And so I just want to make sure that we got clear communication so that we can not have these repeat performances by the entire team. And so we won't leave any stone unturned in figuring out, we know how we can get back on track, but we just want to make sure we don't make the same mistakes again.
Does the urgency at all amp up? Because when you do start 0-2, it kind of thrust your back against the wall pretty quickly, probably sooner than anybody in that room expected.
I always feel great urgency every day. Urgency to get down to this press conference, urgency to get to the next staff meeting. But I think it's important that our players don't feel like this game is any different. Throw the record out the window. We need to prepare how we know we can prepare, and just play with the sound technique and the way we really played in week one, other than a few plays. And so it's week 3. This is not a time to panic. It's not a time to change anything we're doing. It's just we wanted guys to see where the errors were that we made and correct those going forward.
How much do you feel like you're still learning on the fly how players react to things and how your coaches react to things, good, bad, elsewhere, as you kind of go through this first month of the season?
I don't. Are you talking about me personally?
How you guys are all kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, I think it's important to learn from every experience that we have every single week. And so learning on the fly, not necessarily, we always feel like we're prepared. But again, we're just trying to learn from our experiences. And I know that as a team and as a coaching staff, we're going to improve with every experience we have. And we just can't afford to make the silly mistakes we've made in these first 2 weeks and let those games get away from us. But I do feel like we own everything that comes at us. We know that we're going to continue to learn, and we're going to be better coaches for it, better players for it. And again, the biggest thing is we just can't run from the mistakes we're making. We can't cover them up and start pointing fingers, and we got to make sure we own it and make the corrections that we need to make.
I imagine there's some curiosity because you've never faced a team that has just gotten their butts kicked. You know what I mean? Like you've never done that before. I imagine there was curiosity in how that is going to play out as this week goes on and what that meeting would look like this morning.
Well, I feel good about the leadership we have in the locker room, and so it's one thing when you're going to go talk to a team after a defeat like that, and you feel like you have bad character in that room. That's always a concern. you look at that crew and that's not the concern. You know, guys will respond the right way, and the guys that would ever be hesitant to respond the right way, we got the right people to make sure it stays in line. And so I feel very confident in that regard.
It's the beginning of the season, but do you ever like peek over at your division and see what's going on? Like Pittsburgh just lost their starting quarterback. Cleveland has a big game tonight, and Baltimore's 2-0. Does that already affect you?
No, not at all. We barely have enough time to get ready for the game as it is. You know, you feel like every second is precious. So I wouldn't say that we do extra prep work on the division. That stuff is done in the summertime when you got that extra work. And but right now we just focus on the opponent at hand.
Just a couple more, please.
Do you have any updates on Cordy? And was Carl okay coming out yesterday?
We'll find out more about Carl today. No update on Cordy. He's still day to day.
Do you have any idea on the severity of Carl at all?
No, I'll find out shortly after this, hopefully.